In today's video, I'm sharing 5 elegant ways to save money at home in this economy. Hello everyone, Jennifer L. Scott here, and welcome to The Daily Connoisseur. So in my new book, The Daily Connoisseur's Guide to Living Well at Home, there is a section in part 2 called Living Well on a Budget. And it has a lot of ideas on how we can still get the excitement from leaving the house, like going to restaurants and coffee shops and everything, but doing it at home and saving money. Because I know that every single person watching this video probably has had an experience recently where you had sticker shock on something. You went out to order lunch or a coffee or something and they told you the total and you were like, excuse me, right? This happened to me. I'm going to tell you a story right now. So I took the kids to Palm Desert to a resort over spring break. It was just me and the kids because Ben was in England at the time. I know people are like, where's Ben? He was in England. He's back now, okay? But anyway, we went to Palm Springs and I'm not expecting it to be cheap, you know, like we're at a resort. And we were dining at restaurants every night. But one night I was like, let's save some money and get, you know, a fast food meal, like a cheeseburger and fries and a milkshake. It was appealing to me, okay? And so we went to Five Guys. I had never been to Five Guys before. I'm an In-N-Out girl. I love In-N-Out, and there wasn't one in the area. So I thought, let's try Five Guys. It was me and my 4 children, granted, so there are 5 of us, but we had 5 cheeseburgers. We only ordered 1 French fry, okay? Like, we didn't even all get a French fry. 1 order of large Cajun fries. They did get milkshakes, so they each got a milkshake, and I got a Coke. The total was over $90. It was like $93. And I was so confused because the reason why we went out was to save money. And that total was higher than any sit-down restaurant that the 5 of us had been to on that trip. I'm not kidding you. Anyway, it was one of those moments where you're thinking that they got it wrong. But she didn't. That was what we owed. So anyway, I bought the burgers. But after that, like whenever you have this experience, right, I think to myself, okay, I'm going to try to recreate this at home. And the burgers were delicious. Like, don't get me wrong. They were absolutely fantastic. It always is fun to do that every now and then, but it's not sustainable to do that all the time. Right? So anyway, that was my recent sticker shock moment. And it made me think about this video because I know that a lot of people are, you know, going out in this economy and trying to do things that they normally would do with their family. And then you get like the biggest bill and it's shocking. So how can we have these moments at home and still feel like we are living, but saving money? So the first tip is to create a restaurant at home. And that is one of the tips in my book. I write a lot about this, how you can recreate your favorite restaurant dishes, your favorite restaurant ambiance, all of that at home. Now, I'm not trying to recreate the Five Guys ambiance because part of my problem with that was that if I'm going to pay higher prices, I want to be in beautiful ambiance and have a waiter. Okay, like I don't know, I wasn't happy with it. So, but I did want to create the burgers. So what I did was I watched a few videos online about how to recreate the Five Guys burger. And one of the secrets, 2 of the secrets was the meat that you use. They recommend using 80-20 or a chuck and sirloin mix. So I did that. I went to the store and I got the burger. And at the end, you wrap it in foil. That's what Five Guys does. So I did that. And I practiced on one just for myself. It was so delicious. And then the next day I made it for the whole family and they loved it. So it felt really good to recreate that. And I did not total up what I ended up spending at the grocery store, but it was probably around $25 to feed all of us. Okay, so I'm just saying, if you think that something is really delicious out and it's quite pricey, you can definitely treat yourself, of course, to it when you're able to, but just consider possibly recreating it at home as well. My second tip is the at-home cafe. This is so fun and I love this idea. I do write about this in the book and I have a few really special recipes in the book for drinks that you can recreate. We all love a coffee shop or a tea shop experience. It's wonderful, but we can't do it every day because these days lattes, drinks range between $5 to $8 really per drink. So it could get pricey, especially if you're making it for the whole family. So you can get really inspired to make coffee drinks and tea drinks at home. Like I mentioned in my book, I have a few recipes. I'll tell you what they are. These are really great. I have recipes for an iced latte, a London fog tea latte, a matcha latte, and a pistachio rose hip latte. And truly the sky is the limit. If you want to create something, you can find a recipe for it, the ingredients for it, and create it at home. But you can also just be really simple because sometimes simplicity is best. And you can simply make yourself a lovely tea tray. English breakfast tea, some milk and sugar, and a little treat, a baked good, and enjoy that experience at home rather than going out and spending. The next idea is to have an at-home salon. So I had another sticker shock situation recently, and keep in mind I do live in California, so things are more expensive here. But last summer, before we went to England, the girls and I wanted to get manicure and pedicure before the trip so that we would have, good manicures. And I don't normally do gel, but I did for that trip because I thought, then I won't need to worry about my nails while I'm on the trip, okay? So it was 3 of us and we each got a manicure and a pedicure, and I did get a 10-minute shoulder massage. And anyway, the bill was about $400. And again, I was like, pardon? Because back in the early 2000s, my manicures were like $30. And I know that prices are going to rise, but it just reminded me of, oh, this is why I do my nails at home. Okay, so I'm a huge advocate for doing my own manicures. I always do them. If I get a manicure like a gel, it's maybe once a year if I'm going to be traveling on the road and I might not be able to touch up my nails. So anyway, I love doing my own nails. The more you do them, the better you get at doing them. I love the London Town nail polishes. They last for a long time, at least a week to 10 days for me. And this particular shade is called Cloud 9. It's my favorite shade from their spring collection. It's like a milky periwinkle blue. And I'm just taking so much pleasure in doing my nails, and I love how they look. So of course with manicures, pedicures, but any treatment that you get that maybe has gotten a little too pricey or you want to rein in the spending a little bit, you could probably research how you could potentially do it at home. Some things we can't do at home, like for example, I couldn't give myself a haircut, but so we do need to go to the salon for that. But there's just other things that we can research that could help us save money. My 4th tip is to cultivate a rich inner life. So if you watch my planning videos recently, you'll know that I am planning for a year of beauty. I am regulating my nervous system. I am not interested anymore in hardcore productivity like I have for the past decade plus. I'm more interested in living a beautiful life, and a lot of that is internal. So I'm really interested in replacing constant stimulation with depth. And when I do this, I truly find that I look forward to it every day, and I would rather be at home immersed in a good book with a beautiful atmosphere around me than in a crowded place or an expensive place, for example. So there's so many ways to do this, and it will just be different for everybody. But the way that I like to cultivate a rich inner life is through reading, of course. I'm a huge reader. I love reading. I will read fiction, nonfiction, and poetry, all 3 together, and you just can't replace it. Like nothing could ever replace the amazing entertainment value of reading for me. Of course, puzzling is a newer hobby of mine, and while I'm puzzling, I will either listen to beautiful music I will listen to an audiobook. I've done that a few times. Or lately I've been listening to a lot of philosophy videos. So I will go down a little rabbit hole and study a specific philosopher. Like I've just listened to a bunch of Carl Jung's videos, or not his videos, but videos on his philosophy. And Hesse, I've listened to some on his philosophy. So, oh, and also Henry David Thoreau. I've been listening to all these philosophy videos while I'm puzzling, and I just feel like I am cultivating my mind. I feel regulated, and to me, it is elite entertainment. Of course, I still want to go to the movies. I love a night out at the theater. Not saying that I don't, but we can't afford to do that every day, obviously. So when we can't, it's nice to entertain ourselves in a high quality way at home. And the fifth idea I have to share with you today is so daily connoisseur, but it is shopping your own closet. So if you have followed me for any period of time, you know that I do the 10-item capsule wardrobe. I am a big proponent of having a small capsule wardrobe with the intention of expressing your true style, curbing negative shopping habits that you have, and also just making your life easy. It helps you present yourself well every day too. And I write about the 10-item wardrobe in my Madame Chic series, beginning in Lessons from Madame Chic. I also write about dressing well at home in my Living Well at Home book. So you will find this theme throughout all of my books because it is very important to me. But I do find that when we go out, let's say we go to a resort or a beautiful hotel, a beautiful restaurant, we are seeking elegance. We are seeking an elevated experience. And when we dress up at home, we are creating those vibes at home. I just went off on a rabbit trail. That's not actually what I initially wanted to talk to you about, but I'm very passionate about that message. But shopping our own closet. This is a big one because we might always be thinking that we need to add to our closet constantly, like a steady drip, a steady stream of wanting to shop and add to our closet. And a lot of people do this. I used to do this. But when you have boundaries and you curate a capsule wardrobe, a 10-item wardrobe, you can shop your own closet each season before you go out to the stores, and this helps you save money. The best way to do this is to store your clothing away seasonally. We just got out of winter and headed into spring. It's probably the biggest transition of the year. I packed away my winter items and I put them away. Now, when winter rolls around next year, like we're at the end of fall, I will open up my winter box and I will look in there and get excited about the pieces that I already own. Put them back into my wardrobe. You get the dopamine hit like you're shopping, but without spending the money. And then when you do need to spend money and buy something, it is with intention. It is with something that you want to add into your wardrobe that you know will add value. And you're not just throwing money at everything, hoping that something sticks. We want to focus on the dopamine hit from the rediscovery instead of buying something new. So if you can make it even special for yourself, I like to use the canvas bins and I put a little lid on them, put it in the closet. It's very special pulling down that bin, looking in it and finding the clothing. And you could do a little try on session. You could take pictures of yourself, whatever it takes to feel luxurious again, you know? Of course, there are many more ways that we can save money elegantly at home, and I do have them listed in my new book, The Daily Connoisseur's Guide to Living Well at Home, so I hope that you'll check that out. But I would love to know about your experiences. Tell me a few things. The first being, what is your crazy sticker shock story? Because I know everyone has one, where you went somewhere and they told you what it cost and you were like, excuse me? I want to hear that. And then I'd also love to know how you like to save money at home. Let me know what your favorite ways to do that are. And thank you so much for watching today, everyone. Keep calm and remain classy. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.